What's up, everybody? It's your boy Joshua Edwards, live from my parents' kitchen. This is season 3, episode 2 of Joshua's Proximity, episode 31 on totality when it comes to my YouTube channel. I've been off for a month, man, and I've had a lot of things going on. And I think this is one of the things that I can honestly say that I've been with you guys is completely transparent. Whether you listen to me on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, man, just want to kind of just fill you on everything that's been going on, man. So it's still a very tough situation to talk about, man. On February 18th of this year, obviously, my grandfather and my grandmother was actually involved in an accident, and my grandfather ended up passing because of the accident. Getting a little teary-eyed just right now. And you know, my grandma, she's okay, man. She had a fractured back, broken wrist, and she's still trying to recuperate from all of those things right now. And, you know, just even with the whole grieving process, man. So that's kind of why I've been out, man. 2 weeks, the day it happened, man, I was actually at work and finishing my last stop at Amazon, man. This is going to be my last year working at Amazon, speeding into existence right now. But my very last stop, dropping off a package. I was helping this girl train and everything, and you know, I got the phone call from my mom, and it's just a day that I will never forget. So, you know, just real quick before I jump into what I want to talk about, man, just want to give a huge quote just from my grandfather. He said this at his 50th wedding anniversary: "Dream big. You're going to have the same problems anyways, so you might as well dream big." Grandpa Jeff was somebody who was always larger than life. It didn't matter if he met you for the first time. He was always going to be larger than life, man. He was always a guy that would send me and my fiance DMs in Facebook, and we couldn't open up the attachment because we wasn't friends with his friends. So it'll be like a DM from John or DM from Crystal or something like that, and it was like, yo, it says unattachment available, Grandpa. We don't know who John is. We don't know who Blair is. And he's like, hey, congratulations, Pastor John. I'm like, who is Pastor John? But that's just a little side note, man. Grandpa Jeff, I love you forever, man. I will be successful. I got us on this side, and I will become a future sports broadcast. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into episode 2, man. I'm excited to be back. Like I said, it took literally a month off. I am on the quest now to get to let's run it up, man. I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers on YouTube. So make sure that you go ahead and just swipe up, man. Subscribe, click that bell button, and we're gonna get it popping right now. Sorry, I'm just a little antsy, man. It's been a little minute since, like I said, I've been on this podcast. So let's talk about the talk of the town, Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. Now, Tom Brady is somebody who is the greatest football player to ever play football. I don't care if you're looking at it from whatever standpoint you want to. If you want to look at accolades, if you want to look at leadership, if you want to look at how he dominates decades. Not 1, not 2, but going on 3 decades. He is that guy right now. Tom Brady is the greatest football player who have ever lived. And he kind of made a little statement. I'm going to read you his exact quote. He said, on his IG he released, "These past 2 months, I realized my place is still on the field and not on the stands. I'm back." Now, what this tells about me is Tom Brady rushed his decision to retire. Whenever you're making a huge decision like that, whether that be retire from corporate America, retiring from sports, retiring from teaching, retiring from head coaching, whatever the case may be, you always want to make sure that you just take the necessary time to reflect on what it is that you want to do. Like, let's say I want to leave Amazon. Man, I want to quit Amazon, which I will. But let's say I quit before it was my time, and I still got bills to pay. And then you can be like, man, Amazon really wasn't that bad, man. It was bad, but it wasn't as bad as I'm making it seem. That's why you always just want to take your time. Don't let emotions get involved. If you're in a heated situation, just relax, take a deep breath, walk away, do whatever you need to do, and then make that decision. He was only retired for 40 days. Did he even put his official paperwork to Roger Goodell? I mean, what the hell? And instantly, as soon as he stated that he was coming back, guess what? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are once again favored to win an NFC championship, man. So, this free agency has been one that it's been one of the best free agencies that I can think of. The only other free agency year that really resonates or really makes a huge impact this year was maybe when Mike Vick and them boys went to the Eagles. When the Eagles signed Nnamdi Asomugha, when they signed Vince Young, when they signed Michael Vick. I can't think of any other guys, but they signed a plethora of talent, and everybody was like, oh, this free agency is the best free agency ever. Right now, it's hard to disagree that this one is not up there with the Eagles free agency back in the late 2000s. Last week, Russell Wilson got traded to the Denver Broncos. He instantly made that team an instant contender. The AFC West is the best division in football. Wednesday, Carson Wentz got traded to the Washington Commanders. I'm going to touch on that just a little bit. Not right now, though. And on Thursday, the Khalil Mack got traded to the Chargers. Now, that I instantly thought when Russell Wilson got traded to the Denver Broncos, that's the best division in football. And then you add a generational talent, a supreme pass rusher to the AFC West, to the Los Angeles Chargers. Yeah, this is the best division in football. And on this past Saturday, Amari Cooper got traded to the Cleveland Browns. And this is something that we do know. You know, I was one of those guys that was pushing the Baker Mayfield bandwagon. I was saying Baker Mayfield threw the ball better than Lamar Jackson. Yes, that was a terrible take. I was saying that Baker Mayfield, I wasn't saying he was him. I just said when it came down to throwing the football, I thought he was better than Lamar Jackson. And like I stated, that was clearly wrong. But this move, the Dallas Cowboys just shipped Amari Cooper to Alcatraz, man. They just literally sent Amari Cooper to the worst place imaginable outside of maybe the Jets or the Jags. The Cleveland Browns, they don't have the quarterback that they need to in order to get their weapons really involved. The Browns, they just released Jarvis Landry, so now they have an excellent running game. Amari Cooper is the #1 out there. They still have Austin Hooper, but you have Baker Mayfield throwing him the football. You just saw what Odell did in the Super Bowl. He was going to be Super Bowl MVP. But this right here, if I'm Amari Cooper, I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated. Get me out of Cleveland, man. Where the hell is Cleveland? I know it's in Ohio, but what the hell is out there in Cleveland? Outside of the Hall of Fame, Canton, that's in Canton. That's not even in Cleveland. Damn, man. The Browns, well, they got a nice talent, but the Cowboys, they did my man's wrong. But let's talk about the Carson Wentz. Now, when I first heard that Carson Wentz got traded to the Washington Commanders, my instant reaction was, I hated it. But now that I sit back and I actually think about what happened, the Commanders actually made a good steal, if you ask me. He's an upgrade from their current quarterback. Yes, Carson Wentz does turn the ball over. He only had 7 interceptions and maybe like 4 fumbles on the season, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But it's when he turns the ball over. Against the Tennessee Titans, he has the ball in his right hand. He throws it up with his left hand, pick 6. If you just go look at the Jags, man, he had to win that game last year on the very last week, and he didn't get the job done. Yes, they traded for this guy who has undeniable talent, but right now he's playing for his starting life in the NFL. If you ask me right now, Carson Wentz is easily the worst quarterback in the NFC least, excuse me. He is easily the worst quarterback in the NFC East. Daniel Jones, he just turns the ball over too much. Jalen Hurts, he literally beat him out in Philadelphia. Dak Prescott, do I need to say anything about Dak Prescott? So I believe Carson Wentz is really the third or fourth best quarterback in that division, man. I still do believe two things can be true. He's the third or fourth best quarterback in that division. He is playing for his starting life in the National Football League, but it was also a good move by the Washington Commanders. He's better than any other quarterback that they have had in a long time, actually. But yeah, let's switch it up a little bit. Let's go ahead and just talk a little bit of NBA, the Eastern Conference Finals and the Western Conference Finals. We are finally starting to get into the cream of the crops. Playoffs are starting to roll around. What we got? 15 games left, 20 games left. It's up under the 20 games, I know for certain, that is left to play in the NBA season. Right now, the current standings in the Eastern Conference: Heat is number 1, Bucks are 2, the Bulls are 3, 76ers are 4, Celtics are 5, Cavs 6, Raptors 7, the Nets are 8, the Hawks are 9, and to round the top 10, the Hornets are 10. In the Western Conference, the Suns are number 1, Grizzlies are 2, Warriors are 3, Jazz are 4, Mavs are 5, Nuggets are 6, the Timberwolves are 7, Clippers 8, Lakers 9, and the Pelicans 10. I'm going to be real. It would not surprise me if the Lakers lost their matchup against the Pelicans. And it wouldn't surprise me if they lost, if they beat the Pelicans, if they lose their play-in game against the Clippers. The Lakers are that bad. Let's just go ahead and get it out the way. There's an old saying that says, you are what your record says you are. I believe there is some truth in that. You know, you can be a very okay team with a nice record. It's just how the cookie crumbles. But the Lakers are really bad. They're extremely bad. They don't want any parts of the Suns. If the Suns hold on to the number 1 seed and the Lakers beat the Clippers and they beat the Pelicans, it doesn't matter if Anthony Davis is healthy. They are not beating the Suns in a 7-game series. It's not happening. They might get swept or they're losing in 5. It's just not happening. The Nets, and you move over to the Eastern Conference, they are the 8th seed. Right now, can somebody explain to me what the hell is wrong with Ben Simmons? Now, I did a whole episode on what he did against the Hawks when he had a dunk and he passed it off for an assist on a dude that did a layup and missed 1 free throw.
Tapping his way in. Spins on Gallinari. Gives it up. Oh, he was right there. And a foul as Thibault goes to the basket. Boy, Simmons, uncontested, had a layup, but he leaves it for Thibault, who makes something out of it and is headed to the line.
Well, but that's when you know that the game is in your head. That's a dunk for Ben Simmons.
What the hell is wrong with Ben Simmons? Is it his back? Is it his mental? Is it his jump shot? Can somebody explain to me what is wrong with Ben Simmons? Is he going to play this year? Is he going to play next year? There's reports that Steve Nash says he's not even close to playing one-on-one. What? He sat out literally for almost a whole year. What's the issue? What is the issue? Back tightness? It can't be back tightness this long, dog. It can't be back tightness this long, dog. Kyrie, New York City still hasn't lifted the mandate to where unvaccinated players are allowed to participate in, just corporate buildings and everything. Is that going to get lifted? Is the New York mayor going to lift that? And if he does, what does that look like? What does a complete Nets team look like at home? If they play the Miami Heat are a legitimate team, bro. I think that the reason why they lost to the Bucks last year is because they're tired. They were a little, coming off of the bubble. But this team is legit. This team can actually go back to the NBA Finals. They have that type of potential. If the Nets get the Bucks, they're out of there. Right now, if you ask me, NBA Finals matchup, I have the Bucks versus the Warriors. I believe that the Suns are playing really good. And if you just look at the top 2 teams in each conference, the Heat, the Bucks, the Suns, the Grizzlies, what's the common denominator? They have young talent that is around. When you look at the Lakers and the Nets, what's wrong with them? They have old players. They have got to get younger. When we're talking about the Lakers, they're not that good. They're either going to lose in the play-in game or they're going to get beat in the first round. The Nets, if they play the Heat, I could see them upsetting the Heat. But if they play the Bucks, for sure they're getting about the paint. It's just that simple. So right now, I'm loving the Bucks versus the Warriors. I think we're going to see a situation where it was the 2015 Cavs versus the Warriors, when the Warriors were playing LeBron James and they went up 2-1 and everything just went left and then the Warriors won it all. So right now, Bucks versus Warriors in the NBA Finals. You can mark it down, sign it, dot it. You heard it here first. The draft is coming up on April 28th. NFL draft. The Panthers, we have a lot of holes that we need to fill. We just let go of Hassan Reddick. We just let go of AJ Bouye. We still can sign Gilmore, but we need some help on the offensive line. I'm actually going to sit here and say within the next 2 days, Deshaun Watson will be a Carolina Panther. Maybe within this week, Deshaun Watson will be a Carolina Panther. And that's just how the cookie crumbles, man. So that is really it of episode 2, season 3, episode 31, man. It feels good to be back. I am back in action. Let's get it, man. Be great, man. Grandpa, I love you. Dream big. You're going to have the same problems anyways. So you might as well dream big. Josh's Proximity, we out.